evening, class, and welcome once again to Horror 101. Once again, like always, I am your humble guide and teacher, Professor Macabro. You caught me reading a bit more of Bram Stoker's Dracula novel. If you haven't gotten a whiff of it already, I rather enjoy this quite a bit. So much so that I will regale you once again with another movie adaptation of this film. Now, as is the case with most reviewers, if I don't own it, I can't review it. But recently, we did get a copy of the adaptation of the Silent Hill 1922 adaptation, to be exact, of Nosferatu, the Symphony of Horror. This is a public domain movie, so you could readily find it available in a lot of formats. Even if you buy one of those 50 movie packs, you could probably find a copy of Nosferatu. It being public domain, anyone can print a DVD copy of it. But you would be surprised how hard it is to find one. I never was interested in buying one of those 50 packs, since I own most of the movies there. And to buy all that just to get one movie seems a bit too much. But I was, thankfully, able to find a copy of Nosferatu. There are better copies out there, of course, some that have a more better image restoration, and even some special features written by historians. Audio commentary that talk about all the interesting little tidbits that happen in the movie. Because, again, the film was released in 1922. There's no one actually that's still alive that was involved in this. Nosferatu actually went through a very interesting process. They wanted to make, and they did for the most part, create an adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula. However, they were not actually able to secure the rights from Bram Stoker's widow. So they filmed the movie, and when they were about to release, or even a little bit after they released, they found that the wife complained because, it's her husband's work. So, a number of copies were destroyed, while others were changed. Being a silent film, they didn't have to go through refilming audio. Sorry about that. So all they did was just change the title cards. You can still find a couple of copies. This one is actually one of them, where after a cut from a scene, you would see text, and they would mention Dracula. Again, remember, this is an inspiration, a film inspired by Bram Stoker's novel. And in others, the ones that they actually bothered to change, you would see cards that would say Count Orlok. That is the way that they tried to escape it. But like I said, a number of copies were still destroyed. And for the most part, it was considered a lost film. Until it resurfaced, number of copies actually resurfaced, and you can see the movie again. The movie is in black and white, and like I said, a completely silent film, so it might not be for everyone. If you enjoy classic, old-school movies, you'll dig this. But like I said, be wary, because there are a number of copies of the film out there. This one has subpar image quality, and the title cards say Dracula, not Orlok. I was actually kind of hopeful that I would find a copy that says Orlok, but maybe somewhere down the line, a better copy with special features will come down to the deepest corners of the vault. The story, like I mentioned when I talked about Dracula, follows Jonathan Harker that goes visit Count Orlok. You can't say Dracula, remember, this is Nosferatu. And the Count who wants to travel to London to partake on the new tastes of fresher meat. The vampire in Nosferatu is not the elegant, suave vampire that we have in the Bela Lugosi version. No. Much like Dirty Days of Night, the vampire is more inspired by the book. He's decrepit and horrifying. You would not get close to this vampire, but he would stalk you. The look of the vampire is iconic. To this day, a lot of people, but the majority, will go for the sexy, suave vampire, while others will enjoy the horrifying monster that is Nosferatu. Even in some video games or RPGs, there is, I remember a video game show called Vampire the Masquerade that had a whole clan of ugly vampires called the Nosferatu. It has gotten into the subconscious of a great many of people. It follows very closely the book, as you can. Like I said, the book is a collection of red letters and references to other stuff, but this one creates a very nice narrative. And being black and white and silent, I did find myself enjoying its almost calm demeanor. But it might not be for everyone, like I said. Not a lot of people enjoy black and white, and even few will enjoy silent films, because they would consider it a bit boring. But if you're able to find one copy of this movie, which, like I said, is readily available, I would recommend you give it a watch, because if you're into horror and vampires, this is a footnote, a historical footnote in vampire movie lore. Nosferatu from 1922 gets a score of A. Really good